book of all time right now, I'll show you book sales. You'll sell plenty. But the fact of the matter is, authors don't work hard enough. Not even close. And I think that that's an advantage, where you can actually now see their work ethic. So I'd much rather do Q&A than spiel about kids getting punched in the face. So who's got questions? I'm paying $40 a question. Nice. Yes. Oh, yeah. $40. Yeah.
No, my question is, an author like you that has the platform that you have, do you need a publisher? Could you have, and especially as the book product goes more digital?
So I think that's a really big time question, right? I mean, a lot of people busted my chops when I signed the book deal. Like, oh, Mr. New Media, why? I get an email every day. Why did you write a book? Because people read them. Once again, smoke signals. The platform never is romantic to me. It's always about the message and what you're trying to get across. Did I need one? I felt like I did. Obviously Harper Studios was attractive because I like to bet on myself, and having a 50-50 rev share on the back end was much more attractive. I got a lot of offers that were bigger advances for one book, but the back end was attractive. That felt more like halfway between going that, and I needed them because, I wanted Hudson News distribution bad. I thought it was a very important place for my book to go in. So, to me, a publisher's value is their relationships. And all I wanted them to do was get me into the room for the meetings. I didn't even want them to conduct the meetings necessarily. I just wanted to be in them. And so I paid a lot for access. I think now, in a world where I got on Jimmy Fallon, not because my PR person got me on, but because I DM'd him on Twitter, as that becomes more and more the world, and I can hit up the CEO of Hudson News and a type of character like me is going to have a less attractive reason to do it. And especially as things become direct to Nook or direct to Kindle or whatever they become, whatever the platform, or mobile or Slate, I think that there's going to be entrepreneurial authors that are going to go the direct route. I do. Questions?
Gary, you said you're a fan of traditional media outlets or traditional advertising. So, based on that, do you have any observations of how to harness the old media or the traditional media better? Or
I do. No, it's so funny. It's something I'm very passionate about because a lot of the brands that I represent now with VaynerMedia are Fortune 500 consumer brands products who've already made media buys for traditional media. I think not extending the story to online from your traditional media platform is the biggest mistake brands are making. I would never buy a newspaper ad that didn't heavily try to take that eyeball and force them online with a call to action. I would never buy a billboard that didn't try to send somebody online. And so when I'm walking through the airport this morning from my flight from Tampa and I'm looking at the signs and I see like at the bottom left in tiny print it's like hsbc.com, I'm like, assholes. To me, that's where the opportunity is. When you're on TV, I was on CBS morning show the week of Christmas. The amount of Google traffic I got from search was outrageous. And so I'd love to buy ads in the New York Times and the Post and places like that. Do I feel like the pricing's a little skewed off? I do. But do I think it's dramatic? Do I think $50,000 ads need to be $2,000? I don't. And more importantly, I think the copy and the creative needs to get dramatically smarter because you have such an opportunity. You've got a lot of eyeballs. I mean, you could do some serious damage. I'll tell you right now, I will buy a full-page ad in a newspaper before I buy a banner ad on a website any day of the week. Any day of the week. I vomit in my mouth when I see banner ads. There's a study coming out that says that we are now, because we've consumed so much websites, that we are now starting to fundamentally not even see this. I mean, that's fascinating. I think it needs to be experience-based too. I really do. Content is king. You know, when Barnes & Noble's launches the Nook, what I would do is buy takeover web things. Like, wouldn't it be awesome if they could just take over the Daily Beast or the Huffington Post or Mashable or TechCrunch and have a live Ustream video event? You know, and you can minimize it so it doesn't hurt, you know, if you're going on that site. But if I'm launching a new sports product, I'd love to buy ESPN.com, have a takeover ad where we're doing like almost a press conference. How about a Q&A? You know, it'd be really cool if Bezos sat, you know, and just sat there for 3 hours in Q&A online, you know, about why the Kindle was good. I think those kind of interactive things are going to happen. These are things I try with my brand. See, I'm in a uniquely good position. I have enough, maybe not that Wine Library is so big, but it's a big enough company that I can try things and I can see results, and it's enough scalability to it that I can then use those learnings for far bigger brands. And when we do things, they work quite well. We just did it. I mean, I'm under NDA, but we took a major brand and they had a full page ad in USA Today in December, and the entire ad were tweets, real tweets that people randomly were saying about the brand. And it went over extremely well because it was different. The tweets were very raw. I was very proud of the brand to, you know, with the OMGs and the exclamations and, you know, all that stuff. And some of them were pretty, you know, it was just, they did a good job. And it sent a lot of, the ability to extend the story from traditional media platforms is there and needs to be done. I think, you know, the platforms are stuck. I mean, the papers can do things, of course. They can build online media properties. They can do a lot of things, right? They can do a lot of things. I think the creative people are the ones that are really hurting it. I think the creative people, if they actually made creative ads that took eyeballs and moved them and made things happen, would probably make the space much more viable.
Hello. I applaud your commitment to working hard as an author. I think all the publishers in the room appreciate that. I work with a lot of authors, and we have to get them set up on websites and everything. And if I was to pick 2 things to tell an author to do over all the other options, because they often say, you know, there's a lot of noise, and which one do I pick, and I only have a certain amount of time, what would you recommend with all of your experience telling them?
There's, you know, and this is the truth, there is no right one answer, right? I mean, for example, I didn't build Wine Library TV through Facebook or Twitter. Twitter wasn't invented when I started Wine Library TV in February 2006, and Facebook was still a college play, and I didn't want to be the creepy old guy with the kids. So I built my brand through going to places that made sense, and those places were wine forums and wine blogs, and I became part of the community. Every author should become part of the community. What that means is this. If I have an author in front of me, I would tell them that you need to be relevant in your world. So if you're a short story writer, then you need to be involved in every forum and every blog on the internet that talks about short stories, and you need to become part of the community. I didn't go to wine blogs and say, oh, I agree with you on this Zinfandel, but the Turleys are too hot, and I like Martinelli's Russian Rivers Inn better, and then say, Gary Vaynerchuk, WineLibraryTV.com. I just let my name link.